you could just hit that there circle button and we can get this ball rolling.
We got the ball rolling.
I see that now. You already hit the button.
Well,
I'm dying.
With that being said, welcome back to Brews and Bros. I'm Brandon this week. That's Brendan.
Just this week, huh?
Just this week, yeah. I think I'm going to change it again.
You didn't like being Brendan last week?
It was strange.
No, it was. I think I'm pretty cool to be.
Yeah.
Like being Brendan, what's his name? Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's he's got his life turned back around.
He's fat.
Hey man, he could be fat and have a good life. That's all I'm saying.
You can, but it's kind of just not expected.
It's not his thing. I'll give you that. It's not his thing for sure.
I wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, Brendan Fraser, yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna be fat. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna go a long way. As a kid, he was in that Looney Tunes Back in Action. Looney Tunes Back was Kragan. Looney Tunes Back was Hannon. With Daffy, Bugs, and Cameron? No, who was the lady? Was it Cameron Diaz? No, it was not Cameron
I have
Diaz.
no idea. I honestly...
El Google.
I probably will know what you're talking about once I see the picture. But at this moment, I have no idea what you're talking about. Literally at all.
Bro, you never seen Looney Tunes Back in Action?
Is it a movie?
Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't sound familiar.
Jenna Elfman.
Who?
You got me there. I don't know her, but
Let me see.
Looney Tunes Back in Action. It's like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it's the Looney Tunes.
I don't think I've ever seen it in my life.
This is like the spiritual successor to Space Jam. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I'm gonna go.
I mean, probably. That's probably how some people viewed it. Yeah, sure.
But that's enough Looney Tunes talk. We gotta get to the real bread and butter of what happened this week. Look what I have on my head.
Oh, that's true. So for all the listeners who can't see this, Brendan has officially turned into Sam Fisher. Got himself some very, very cheap night vision goggles. They can't even they can't even turn on because one of the screws is stripped out. We can't even put batteries in it.
But I still look pretty cool. I'm pretty cool. I drove by the protesters and I wore it because I was like, I'm ready for the boog.
I don't think you are ready for the boog.
I'm definitely not ready.
I was gonna say again, you might be able to see through the tear gas spunk, but
I'll still breathe it through my nose.
You're still gonna get it.
My skin, my head's left open, my mouth is left open, my nose. The only thing this covers is my forehead, really, because even the eyes, like the outsides, are still like
probably just so it doesn't fog up. Would be my guess.
Yeah, but it like the one negative about this, like I think these are pretty cool, but the one negative is it squeeze right here. It's like obviously there for the nose protection as a little pad, but that squeezes into that cartilage.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sitting there like. Because I think there's probably a way to loosen it, but I don't want to make it too loose and then just be like dangling off my head.
Well, that's why you gotta mess with it. That's why you actually, so funny enough, you gotta make it too loose so you can sit it on your head.
And then tighten it from there.
And then you tighten it from there.
But I can't see it.
Well, you don't need to see how tight it is. You just need to feel how tight it is.
No. But I mean, I can't see the belt to tighten because it's one of those where it's the straps.
Oh, gotcha.
You got like a backpack.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know how to help you.
You could always tighten it for me.
That's true, I could.
But I know you'd probably be like, yeah, pull my head.
Honestly, probably.
End up on 1,000 Ways to Die, just sitting there with night vision goggles with blood underneath the eye holes. That's a gruesome sight. I don't want to think about that.
That sounds like some creepypasta stuff, dude.
I don't know how that song goes. I always say Santa Maria.
It's like I think it was last night. So I was getting ready to, go to sleep and stuff. And
wow.
So scrolling through my phone like you do.
Right.
Like right before you go to bed, just like, checking
last
stuff
minute of freedom.
Yeah, just kind of like looking at some videos or whatever. And like I stumble upon this like top 5 countdown on this channel. And I don't remember the title of the video.
Top 5 reasons not to go downstairs at night.
So it was like, I think it was like top 5 like creepiest videos or something like that. But I didn't read that until
you clicked it.
No, not even then. So like I'm like scrolling through the videos on Facebook, and like the guy just starts talking, and like I'm starting to watch the video, and the guy's like talking about the video, and I was like, the video that he was showing like looked really, really, really super familiar for some reason, and I was like, it's like I feel like I've seen this video somewhere before, but I couldn't quite like place it. Well, the guy in the video starts like painting his body with with clay. I think, and so as soon as I started to watch that, I was like, wait a second, I've seen this video before, and I was like, nope, it's pitch black in my room, and I said, I gotta go to sleep like right now, because
put something friendly on.
Dude, literally, I think I scrolled like a couple, watched some like cringe TikToks, and then I was like, I think I should be good, and then I put another I put whatever it is I fell asleep to last night, but I'm almost positive that video I saw when you were living with me. It's that guy. He like covers himself in like layers and layers and layers of clay. And he like creates that like weird face, and he like cuts open like mouth holes and eye holes. Yeah, because that's so. As I was watching him like start to like cover himself, that's the first thing that I thought of. I said, oh no. I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I can't do this.
I gotta get out of here, but I live here. Well,
dude, and it's one of those things that like, that always seems to happen to me. Like, not always. I'll just preface that. It doesn't always happen to me. It just, sometimes it seems to happen more often than not.
Right.
Like, I remember one time when I think this was like right before I got out of the military. I'm sitting there and I was watching videos, like, it's like, you know how sometimes like you just fall into the rabbit hole of YouTube?
Yes, all the time. You're like, how did I get
here? And you're like, how did I get from, watching this like Watch Mojo video to this? And I think that's kind of what happens to me. And I was watching whatever it was I had started watching, and then by the time that I was done with everything, I ended up realizing sorry.
Yawn.
I ended up realizing that I wasn't watching like inherently creepy videos, but for some reason it was just creepy. I think it was just because like I was in my room by myself and I had my headphones on.
It's just
mind you,
thing.
all of the lights in my room are on. Like, a barracks room is not very big, like at all. But the way that our room was set up is there was like a little hallway that led from the door into the room. And so there was like a little bit of a corner that I couldn't quite see. Like, if I was like, even if if I'm sitting on my bed facing like forward, I couldn't see out of that corner. And so I had a roommate at the time. So I'm watching whatever it was that I was watching, and like I said, it wasn't inherently creepy. I think it was just like, top 5 like, Irish lake monster myths or something like that. Something kind of
weird one.
Something kind of silly like that, and I was like,
top 5 weird occurrences. You're like, weird, more like creepy. How's this happen? What is this?
Yeah, and so like the guy's like explaining them, and I'm like, well, I don't know how I feel about all this. And all of a sudden, so like I said, there's that corner, and all of a sudden, dude, all I see is this tall, shadowy figure because of the lights are on, so I can't quite see, and it's in like, in the corner of my eye. And all of a sudden, my roommate pops up, and dude, it scares the ever-living shit out of me.
Did you yell, or did you just like have a mini quiet heart attack?
I kind of had like a little mini quiet heart attack, and I like paused the video, and I like took my headphones off. And I just kind of looked at him, and he goes, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, you just scared me, is all. I just didn't see you coming in. I didn't hear you because I had my headphones in, coming through the door.
Come to find out, you were thinking the Loch Ness Monster just said,
dude, no, I thought I was going to get killed.
You owe me tree fitting.
Dude, it was a scary time being in the barracks sometimes.
Well, good for them if they're able to get through the military checkpoints and be like, all right, I'm in the barracks.
Honestly,
let's get Brandon.
I'm not trying to like condone anything, and I'm not saying that people should do this.
Oh, good.
But I think for the most part, depending on what base you go to, it's fairly easy to sneak in. It's like a gated community. They can't watch all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Like if they were to hop a fence at one point.
Like if you go, so like in 29 Palms, it's literally just, you're in the middle of the desert. If you go out far enough from like the main gate or any one of the gates, like you can just hop through. Because, like, I remember one time I was with... I had to walk off base for some weird reason. I, like, couldn't find a ride or something along those lines. Like,
Right.
And the people that I was going to hang out with couldn't get on base.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, don't worry about it. I was like, just park at the visitor center. I'm going to start walking towards the main gate. And I'm going to try to see if I can just walk off base.
Right.
So I start walking, and I was like, well, if I remember correctly, there's, like, holes in the fence on either side of the main gate. Like, it's like they don't have, like, the fence doesn't go right up to the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that turns out to be wrong, because as I was walking in the pitch black, which was very sketchy because it's nighttime, I realized that there's a fence there. Or that the fence, like, connected all the way to the little building or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And so I, like, followed the fence, and I was, like, I honestly kind of felt like I was, like, breaking out of prison. I was, like, really super nervous for some reason about it, and I was like, man, I don't know if I should be doing this. Like, I almost canceled my plans. I was, like, just freaking out, because I was like, I know people walk off base all the time.
But
I was like, I've seen them.
Kind of like when you walk out of Walmart without buying anything.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
not
it's
bad.
It's technically not illegal.
But
like I can leave
wrong.
because like I can get back on base obviously, but I think for me what it was is because it was at night.
Nah.
Like that's what made it more
a chain link fence at night. Nothing.
Yeah, like nothing good has ever happened with a chain link fence at nighttime.
Especially in the desert.
And what's funny is there's a little town called Amboy,
Ooh.
which is like, it's not very far outside of 29 Palms, but that's where all those Charles Manson followers used to live.
Jeez. All the culties by the military.
Dude, for real, it's the scariest thing in the world. It's literally like a little ghost town out there. It's bonkers.
So there's no one there. It's just.
I think there's like a gas station there. And, like, the people still live, like, out in town. Like, they still live in Amboy, or maybe they live in 29 Palms. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't stop to ask questions.
You just
I had never seen anyone at that gas station.
You didn't want to hear someone say, hey, have you talked to Tex?
Yeah, or, like, because I heard that that's where they filmed The Hills Have Eyes. Like, it's just not, like, a good spot, like, at all. But that's a back way to get to Las Vegas.
What the heck is this town called? Amboy?
Amboy, A-M-B-O-I.
Creepypasta.
Dude, it's kind of scary. So, if you were to just drive, like, say that I wanted to leave 29 Palms, go to L.A., you would take the 62 to I-10. But that's a completely separate way. But if you wanted to go to Las Vegas, like, you could still go to Las Vegas that way. You're just going to be on the road for an additional, like, probably, like, 3 hours. And rather than just driving, I heard that you can make that trip from 29 Palms to Las Vegas in like 4 hours.
Right.
But you're hauling ass like the entire time. I think roughly it's like 5.5, maybe 6 hours depending on traffic. But you go that back way through Amboy.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's like at night it's super sketchy because you can't see anything because there's no lights out there. There's like maybe one light every couple 100 miles or something like that, it seems like.
When I just looked up the population as of the year 2005.
Yeah, and it's probably all the people who work at the gas station. They probably just live there.
Like the gas station hotel area, yeah. You know what it really looks like when I'm looking at it, though?
Huh?
That place that they stop at in the House of 1,000 Corpses. With the clown.
Yeah.
What's his name? Balding? Captain Spaulding?
Something like that, yeah. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen those movies.
That's
but
creepy.
But dude, it's wild out there. Like, it's so, like, it's one of those things that, like, I'd always kind of heard, like that was like one of the first things that I had heard when I had gotten to 29 Palms. Was like, oh yeah, Amboy's over there, and that's where the Charles Manson followers used to live. And we were like, what the hell? And then, really didn't think anything of it. But taking that back way to Vegas, there's nothing out there. And because I think if I remember correctly, that little back highway, what it does is it cuts, whatever direction it is, outside of 29 Palms, and then it just like it rides the training area.
That's so
for like
creepy.
the longest time, and then there's like another little town that you get to, that's like it's like almost like a little junction. To like where you turn right, like you've been going what seems to be left forever. Like you're like it's like 2.5 hours have gone by. It feels, and then you all of a sudden you turn right at this. It's like it almost looks like a weird like train station town. I've never driven through it in the middle of the day ever. Every single time I went through that train station town, it was dark outside.
Nighttime.
And it's just like, but like that whole area of California is just. It's like, it's just spoopy, dude.
But do you
like,
ever think about those people who like, because you were like, driving 2 hours one way or the other. Think about the people, like how long it took them to put the asphalt there, and they're probably like, where are we gonna go? Like we have to keep going. Like there's no hotel for us to just waltz to.
Honestly, I don't even want to think about that. I wouldn't want to be on that team. That's all I know.
Anywhere in the world though, where there's like a long stretch of just road with nothing for miles, you're like, did they like bring RVs in?
I can kind of see where you're coming from, because like when I had to go up to Loveland last year, it was the same thing. So like once you get out of Denver and once you get like out like really outside of Denver, like you're not in the suburbs or anything anymore,
right.
There's just nothing.
Yep.
Like it's all flat. Like you can kind of see the mountains way off in the distance, but it's more, for the most part, it's just flat. And I remember when I was driving up there, I was like, dude, I'm bored because there's nothing to look at. It's a 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to look at.
It's like Kansas.
There's like there's a couple of spots here and there that pop up, like a gas station every couple of miles or whatever it is, but like for the most part, there's nothing out there.
Nothing worth noting, at least.
And but yeah, I guess I can see where you're coming from. It's like, do they just like stop it at some point and then like drive all the way back to Denver? But like each day's commute is just longer and longer and longer, or is it like a halfway thing, or is it like they only pave one side, and then everybody else got to drive on a dirt road until they decide to do the other side? I don't know how they do that, but
I mean, like, because for the most part, we've been born where it's like it's set. The roads are already the roads. Now they make like diversions or differences in the roads, but they're already there.
The only place that I can think of that it wasn't like that, as far as I could remember, and I didn't know about until we started high school, was right on the top of Fillmore and Centennial. Right there, that part of Centennial that goes towards the VA. I don't think that part of the road existed just yet. I think it was like they had kind of started the road, but it didn't go that far.
Right.
Like, I think it was like it kind of was like one of those things where it like goes in a little bit, and then they put the signs up saying that the road is closed. Yep. I think that was it, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember. And they still to this day haven't finished it.
Well, it's weird because if they finish it, it just makes a little bit of a bridged gap on this on a little neighborhood down there. Because we went off. Sorry, Popo. We went off-roading back there about 5 years ago.
I heard that you can do that, though.
Well, I didn't think so because the signs say closed. You know how they get.
Yeah.
A little too... Hey, I'm the one with the beds. You're the one in the Jeep.
Yeah, and
I'm the one who makes the road.
Yeah, no, but yeah, now that I think about it, I think you're right. I think that it just connects that neighborhood. It's just like an easier way for the people out of the neighborhood to not have to drive all the way down.
Yeah, because you remember where me and old dude used to live when you were in the military and you came and visited? Mm-hmm. That road that's like, so, like on the backside, that would lead to the back apartment. Mm-hmm. If you went up there, that'd be closed off. But if you went off-road on there and took it up, it goes to where that is. That's where it would connect to.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we off-roaded over there because we were just driving. I didn't trust it the whole way through. And then old boy always wondered why his truck was always acting up. I'm like, cuz, dude, you're driving off cliffs and mountains like... Sound like the Phil Collins. I can't feel...
But yeah, man, it's just, it's one of those things that, like, it's... Like, for me, I don't really like driving, like, at night. Like,
Right.
if it's, like, dark outside, like, I don't really like driving outside just because it's one of those things. It's just, I feel like I'm, like, running late for something. Like, it's just, this is a weird, like, anxiety thing that I have about driving, like, when it's, like, dark outside. Like, I'll drive at, like, dusk. That's no big deal. Like, driving at dusk is fun because, you know, the sun's still kind of up, but it's
my favorite time of the day.
starting to cool down or whatever, especially in the summertime.
Well, I don't mind driving at night. Like it depends, because I don't like being out at night.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And not in like everything's bad happens. It's more so just, I just like being at home.
Yeah.
Like when the sun's down, I'm like, well, everything's starting to close. I want to go home. I'm not much of a partier or anything like that. But I don't mind driving at night, like if I'm with the squad or anything, you know. But once like midnight rolls around,
I'd say that's different. But like on Saturday after the birthday party I went to, I think it was like right, like I said, it was like right after midnight that I started to drive home. I think I got home at about 12:20, and I remember like thinking to myself, I was like, dude, why am I still awake
all the time, dude? Remember when I used to do that at like an old girl I used to date? Like, that's what time I'd like leave, driving the interstate. Oh, it's pretty empty towards home, but like I'd always be suspect whenever any car was behind me. I'd be like, what are you doing out so late?
Like, what are you doing? So, I used to have the same problem. So I would drive from the south side of town all the way back up to my house on the north side of town, and I would take the interstate because I knew that there was no traffic because it's 11:30 midnight. But my thing was I'd get onto the interstate and there'd be no cars behind me. I'd dick around or whatever. I'd keep driving, whatever. Like 2 or 3 exits will go by. Next thing I know, someone's like on my ass.
It's like, where'd you come from?
It's A, where'd you come from? And B, why are you in the one lane that I'm in? It's kind of like when you park out in the middle of nowhere and someone parks right next to you. And you just... It's like, what are you doing, buddy? I don't mind if you park kind of near me, but the spot right next to mine.
Like if you go to a park at night, I'm not saying you do, but like if you're with your lady or something like that, you're at the park, you park somewhere, just kind of having a conversation, wink. But if someone parks right next to you, you're like, there's literally a whole entire... Then I'm like, you're up to something, scumbag.
Yeah.
We gotta
It's like,
go.
You're the criminal.
We gotta go.
And it's like...
Carry a flashlight with
or I'd be driving, like, because I always do this thing where, like, for some reason, I'll like, think of, like, the dumbest shit, like, I'll be like, I wonder if someone's in my backseat right now. And then I'm, like, freaking out the whole time I'm driving, because I'm like, is someone will, like, turn the light on real quick? And I'll, like, look, and I'm like, okay, no one's back there.
Well, I think if at that point, I wouldn't even want to look, because then Schrodinger's cat, as long as I don't look.
See, and it's okay. So I tried that one time where I tried for the longest time to not look. Like I tried for like a couple of miles to not look.
Don't know.
And oh my god, like I had, honest to God, and obviously you just get into your own head about that sort of stuff. But like I swear to God, dude, I had never been so afraid in my life. I was like freaking out. I was like sweating, and I was like, if I don't look, I'm going to die. Because they're gonna wait till I get all the way back to my house to fucking kill me,
and then take my truck,
and then take whatever vehicle it is that I happen to be in. So like, I think I got lucky and I got to stop at a light, and I was like, oh my god, thank God.
And then someone popped out the flatbed like, ha!
No, dude,
thanks for the ride.
That's a fear I've had too.
Someone especially in the flatbed.
No, especially with my truck now. Is someone hiding in the bed? And so like I start just start driving or whatever, and then all of a sudden, I hear like a on my window, and someone's like, dang, he's trying to slay.
Or even worse, you turn around, it's Charles Manson, he's just going, hey.
I'd be more confused because
this going to ambush.
I'd be more confused because he's dead, isn't he?
You would think. Until you see him in the back of your truck.
Bubba Hotep. He'll live in at that retirement home with Abe Lincoln, JFK, and Elvis.
JFK smashing mad poon.
But
I am only smashing poon.
Or like I always have like a weird fear of like backing out of a spot and someone like walking behind my truck and I don't quite see them.
And they hop
like,
in
despite me looking, or no, like, and they just like get snagged on like my fucking tailgate or something, like
their
something,
belt,
something crazy. Like it just, you know what I mean? Like just
drive off,
and you just drive off and you're just dragging somebody.
You think you'd hear them scream?
You would think.
Unless they're in a wheelchair and you're just dragging them, they're just. Or if you get them at an angle and then they like lift up a little bit and then they start rolling with the car, and the wheels are.
Yeah, it's just, but like I said, it's one of those like weird, like small little like clips of just being like, I wonder, like how quick would it take for someone to stop you? Like if that happened, like especially if it happened like in a gas station parking lot.
Stop!
Yeah, like are people gonna be like chasing you down or like
you got your music blaring?
Yeah, like they're trying to like throw like the windshield wiper, like those little like sticks that they have, they're like throwing those at your car.
And you just think there's a mob, you're like, oh, I'm not stopping for anybody. These people are trying to kill me.
Speed up. But you know, it's just in like a.
It's getting dragged.
Because it happens to me, I think when I was coming over. No, because I didn't come over here last week. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was maybe just driving around, or I was on my way back home from doing something. And I was, I parked at the gas station. I get back in my truck. And I'm starting to back out. Well, I see this girl walking behind me. So I stop to let her, continue walking. Well, I don't know if she's just the fastest human on planet Earth, or if she just happens to, like, when I looked back on my left side, she'd already gotten inside somehow. But, like, I, like, looked, and she was there. I looked again to double check that she wasn't, like, walking behind my truck or whatever. And then I looked back. She was gone. Couldn't see her at all. So I said, you know what? I guess if it's my time, it's my time. I'm just going to drive. If someone stops me, someone stops me. But then I had this like whole paranoia that it's like, well, what if no one knows that she's under my truck? Like for some reason they can't see her, but she's just like under there getting murked.
She said, "Kill me."
And it's just, it's like I was like, dude, man, I really hope that, because like I have this like I said, it's like this weird innate like fear or like driving out of the gas station and the pump still being in there. I think about that all the time. I double check every single time.
Taking the pump with you?
Yeah, just destroying, like shell property, and they're like, hey!
Looking like Zoolander. How'd they blow up again? Did they because they're all having fun? But who did they light something, or did they start the car?
I think if I remember correctly, the guy lit a cigarette.
Oh, that's right. And Zoolander goes, no. That's a fear of mine, dude.
Blowing up at a gas station?
Yeah, because it happened to that lady when we was in high school.
The lady in high school?
So when we were in high school, there's a 7-Eleven off of, like, Colorado. Somewhere down there. Not quite downtown. Kind of where the Dunkin' Donuts is on Colorado. Okay. There's a 7-Eleven over there. And
I know what you're on the corner of 7-Eleven, on 7-Eleven, on Colorado and 30th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might, well, not that one, on the other side of Colorado, the closer to downtown. Like, when you get to Dunkin' Donuts, it's, like, right over there.
Okay.
But she goes to fill up her gas, and she's, like, standing between the pump and the car like normal. As you do when you're filling up your gas. But I guess something happened where a car, like, wrecked into her, hit her car, hit her. She got pinned between her car and the gas pump. It sparked.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Blew up. And they were like, you could hear her scream for miles. And you know where we were? Class.
That's so wild.
We were just goofing off.
Do you think that, like, people just die all the time?
Yeah, but, like,
people don't die.
Just in that, like, extraordinary of a fashion, though. Like, while we're just chilling in class, like, a few miles down the road.
Yeah, you would think that, like, I guess our school is kind of far away from that particular gas station.
It's farther away.
Like, I would say, like, if it happened at the King Soopers, like, right up the street, like, they'd probably would have been like, hey, maybe we're going to cancel school today.
Hey, kids, you see that ball of smoke? Yeah, ignore it.
I remember that. I remember I think it was our freshman year of high school.
Yeah, dude, it was in 7th period.
Yeah,
Banfield's class I was in.
I'm trying to remember whose class I was in.
I don't know if you had Miss Banfield, because I know we had
her
PE together.
I know her. I think I had her like she was like a morning class.
It was right after PE because we're sitting up there, and then all of a sudden, like, one kid just looks over and he's like, "Hey, look at that!" And everyone gets up and like, "Oh, there's a brush fire right across the street."
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Stop looking at it!"
Yeah, the teacher's like trying to shut the windows, and we're like, "Ooh, that's like right across the. Why? What do you mean? Like, should we not be concerned?"
They let us out like 10 minutes early. I remember I can't remember who I called, whether it was my mom or my dad, but I was like, "Hey, so there's like a weird fire across the street in the field over there." So they let us out like 15 minutes early, and I was like, "I'm gonna go hang out with my friends." So that way, I have like a ride home. So if like I'll let you know if you need to come get me or whatever. But yeah, I remember that, and everyone was like, "Yeah, this is fucking awesome!" But like, I remember thinking to myself, I was like, because I remember I heard about it or I'd seen it, like right as it first like kind of started, and it was like 45 minutes before the bell rang, and then like 30 more minutes went by, and we were still sitting in class, and everyone's like, "This is so fucking stupid. Why are we here? What if the fire jumps across the street and we all die? How are you gonna feel?"
I remember teachers like, "Ah!" I also remember that Ms. Banfield was always tripping on us about just dumb stuff. Like, we were doing this little thing where we were reading Romeo and Juliet, and so she was like, "But I'll let you play out the part, but you'll stand up and read it, act it out, trying to make it fun." Mm-hmm. And I remember this line. It's like in the first like 2 pages of the script or whatever. But then homie goes like, he says, "Hand me my long sword, ho," like a tally ho kind of thing. But I'm just reading it, and so I'm like, so I look at the paper and I hold up the sword and said, "Hand me my long sword, ho." And I remember she yelled at us. She's like, "No, no," and I'm like, "What do you?" I'm just reading the words. It's not my fault that they sound the way they do.
Yeah, I remember in 5th grade, after I moved back from Arizona, I think it was kind of near the end of the school year.
Right.
So, I don't know how your elementary school did it, but they like tried to implement like having like classes. So like you would go to like a different teacher for like science or math or English or social studies. Like you would like it would like to like get you ready for middle school kind of thing.
So the only thing that they did that way, so we had all of our subjects with the one teacher, but the elective stuff, he did the music, the art with like the other
so
teacher.
like that was still all the same too. Like we would go do that elsewhere as well.
But they would teach us the math in the regular class, but we would have a like extra math class that they would teach. Like some other lady would teach us like a specific math. So we learned the everyday mathematics, which was straight garbage. Mm-hmm. But then the other lady would like teach us math. But her math class was more fun. Mm-hmm. It was like So that's how we did it. It was.
So yeah, so like
just said fuck your middle school.
We would so like because I remember like when we first got there, they like had told us, they were like, "Yeah, this is just how we do it." And it's just to kind of prepare them, for like that aspect of like not being in the same classroom again,
right? Or
like not being in the same classroom all day anymore, like because you do just change classes throughout the day, and so. Like near the end of the school year, so like however it was that my particular rotation was set up, like I think it was like right after lunch or right before lunch, I would just stay in the classroom that I would be in the mornings anyway.
Right.
Well, with it being the end of the school year, it's not like a whole lot that you really do. Mm-hmm. So one of the girls in class had like volunteered to like read a book or something like out loud while we just kind of did whatever it was that we were doing.
I'd hate to read someone stuttering in a book.
So she was actually a pretty good reader, believe it or not. Like she was like one of those kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the good reader kids.
Where she like, but like, I remember her like specifically like showing off. Like she or like maybe she wasn't like necessarily showing off, but like she definitely had that like aura about her that she was like, haha. I'm better than you because I know how to read without stuttering in front of people.
I'm reading the Odyssey to my 5th grade class.
And so...
Odysseus. Ulysses. How do you like that?
I think she read...
The Cat in the Hat.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
I would have told her, I'm not allowed to listen to this book.
So, you know, she's reading it and whatever, but there's every once in a while, there's not like for a 5th grader, there's curse words. I think it's like hell and bitch or something like that. It's probably the extent of it, or like damn.
Darn.
And so she's reading the book like as it is. Mm-hmm. And so I remember at one point there was like 4 of them in a row. It seemed like it was like almost like it was just like back to back, and I'm like,
were you cringing? Like, oh no.
I was like, oh no, the teacher's gonna say something, dude.
The teacher probably was like,
the teacher said something. He was like, I know what you're doing. He's like, I'm glad that you're just reading the book, but just so we don't get in trouble, whenever those words pop up, use the family-friendly version of those words.
Those teachers who, like, they understood when you would cuss, but they were just like, per my job requirement.
Yeah.
Please refrain from using those words.
Yeah.
Because I've had teachers like that. I think Mr. Hardwick was one of them. Because, like, someone would say, like, oh, fuck. And then he'd be like, no, let's try again. They'd be like, sorry. And he's like, nothing to be sorry about. Just from here on out, let's try again.
Yeah, and it's so funny, like I remember, when I was in middle school, there was like one of those kids who he was always getting in trouble for something, and he's always getting written up and like getting his like little referral. Well, I remember somehow, I don't know why I found this or how I found it, but it was a referral from him. But it was like his copy that he was like supposed to take home. Well, you know, they give the reason why he's, you know, getting the referral. And so the teacher, whoever it was in class and, you know, was being rowdy and said the word fuck. And I remember the teacher had spelled out the word fuck instead of like being like, you know,
the F word,
stated the F word or whatever, like, you know, be like trying to be like professional. I was like, couldn't the teacher get like
in trouble? Like, you wrote this on a document about my kid. I just remember getting ISD for talking to Quentin about like what we'd learned in history class. We learned about those Native American ghost dances. Next class comes up, it's biology, because we weren't in the same history class, but we had biology together. And I was like, "What'd you learn today?" kind of thing, you know. Before class starts, he tells me, "Oh, we did this." I was like, "Oh, we talked about the ghost dances too." And as we're talking about them, and just like, you know, we were like trying to figure out, so why exactly was this happening? Why they do X, Y, Z? We offended the one Native American kid in the school.
Oh no!
I don't need Autumn. Because Autumn was a larger lady, and I remember because she's like crying to the principal about it. The principal calls us in, and he's all like, so you guys were making fun of the Autumn, and we were like, not at all. And he was like, what do you mean? And we were like, no, we had just learned, you know, about the ghost dances. We're talking about it and kind of, you know, why they did it, what it is, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. And then he was like, okay, I get it. So, you know, you guys are really just learning. And we were like, well, yeah, it's just, you know, how it is. And he was like, well, she told me that she wanted to kill herself. And I was like, not to be that guy, Mr. Smith, but that's probably a very, like, an underlying issue that had nothing to do with us, you know? And he's like, yeah, well, just with the way everything looks, you're in biology, you shouldn't be talking about history. And we were like, okay, understandable.
That's fair. We should be talking about science, not history.
And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And he's like, so, I'm still going to have to give you guys in-school detention tomorrow. And I was like, fair enough. And so I was like, well, I'm going to probably have to tell my parents before, you know, they get the call. So as soon as I walk in the door, my mom's like, so Brendan, I was like, before you guys say anything, I have detention tomorrow. Because I talked about ghost dances. And my mom was like, well, I was going to tell you, your principal called us, told you had detention. What do you mean you were talking about ghost dances? And I was like, yeah, we talked about ghost dances. And then the one Native American, like, girl got offended. And my dad gave me this look, and he was like, "What do you mean she got offended?" I was like, "She said she wanted to kill herself because, I don't understand why she wanted to kill herself though."
Mm-hmm.
And he just gave me this look because he's like, "Why does this school always try to peg you on something dumb?" Like every time. Like when I told this one kid because he was trying to cut line, I said, "Nah, get to the back of the line."
Mm-hmm.
So we went and told the principal I was being racist. So I go to the principal's office. And then they're like, "So, we know there was a racial incident between you and one of the African American students." I was like, "What incident?" You told him to go to the back of the line. I was like, "Well, he was trying to cut." And they're like, "Well, I mean, probably the way you said it." And I was like, "I don't know how I could have said it, in any way."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, can you see how that could be misconstrued?" And I was like, "Not really." And they're like, "But you understand he's black?" And I was like, "Yes, half of my family is black." And his face, he's like, "Half of your family?" And I was like, "Yeah, you never met my dad? My dad's black." And he's just like, "Oh, there seems to obviously be some kind of miscommunication here. You are free to go." And I remember leaving, and I looked that kid in the face, and I was like, "Ooh, it's the only kid I've punched 3 times in the face in high school."
Who'd you punch in the face in high school?
Ryan Sable, Dorian Barcelo, Bruce Lee Rodriguez.
You punched Bruce Lee?
I don't know if I actually punched him or if I just straight leg kicked him in biology.
What?
Dude, listen, we're adults now. We've got past it. It's one of those little things that's like obviously just, it's not a big event. We've moved past it. We just, next day, whatever. Don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where like, he was talking about something and I was like, "Bro, just shut up." Because Bruce Lee is one of the nicest people now. Super cool guy. Back then, not the case. Well, I remember because he was talking and I was like, "Bro, shut up." He's like, "Do something." And I just did that thing where I bent like this and my leg extends and it just goes straight out right into his stomach. And I remember him going and I was just like that and I went back down. I was like, "I don't care." And Dorian, he was just saying something. He was like, why'd you punch me in the face? I was like, "I just thought you were going to come at me." Ryan, he was messing with someone on the bus. And, Dimitri, he was another guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was messing with the girl, and I was like, "Quit messing with her." He's like, "I won't." And so I just, on the bus, and I was like, "Are you going to quit?" And he was like, "Yeah, stop." And I just, a few more just for good
measure. You're a bully, dude.
I'm not.
Dude, you're a bully.
I was standing up for the weak. Because in every instance, it was someone was being annoying or pissing someone off or pissing me off. Because I think I'm pretty pacifist, but I'm just like, "Hey, that's enough of that."
Yeah.
Because I don't like, throwing the dukes out.
Yeah.
But that's why I've only ever had to, like, punch people. I've never, like, gotten into something that's too crazy because I'm just like, "Listen, I'm not going to let it get that far. If you want to continue to go after me after I punch you, fair enough." But that's never not happened yet.
Yeah. Me and Munson almost got into it with this group of kids in the lunchroom one time.
Jeez.
So you remember how they had those like tables that would like stand up?
Yeah.
In the back corner.
I remember.
So
those.
that's kind of where we
by the window.
The other side.
Okay.
Like
when you first walk into the right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we're standing at one of those tables, just eating our lunch or whatever. Well, one of the kids over there, like, kicks a hat or something, and it hits Munson in the leg. So he goes, "What the fuck?" And then he just, boom, rockets his hat across the cafeteria. And the kid goes, "What the fuck, dude? That was my hat." And he's like, "Well, maybe you shouldn't fucking kick shit at people." And he's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, the kid starts, like, mouthing off. And he, like, tries to stand up, but he was, like, one of the smallest kids in the school.
I think I know the one you're talking about, too.
And so, like, and me and Munson are, like, I mean, Munson's obviously taller than me, but, like, we're not, like, small dudes. But this dude was, like literally, like, a little 5th grader.
He walks up, like, "What's up?" And Munson probably just looked at him and said, "Why don't you just go get your hat?"
He was like, "Your hat's right there. Just go grab it. Like, just don't kick shit at me." He's like, "That's all I'm telling you."
That's all I'm saying.
And he was like, mouthing off, trying to go pick up his hat. Him and his, like, little fucking crony group of fucking midgets try to fucking walk off. But like, I just remember being like that was like the first and only time that, like, I actually thought, like, I was gonna get into a fight because that kid just wouldn't shut up.
There's been a few where I'm like, it's close, but like I said, I'm listen, I'm the guy. When people say swing first, I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm just gonna let you know right here, right now. We're just gonna settle this. But remember in high school, me and a couple of the dudes, we were in the same spot, and I think Caleb was with us. Because Caleb's super tall. Like somehow a pencil ended up flying and hit Caleb, and he looked at it, and he saw the kids that threw it, and so he went like this. He went whatever, and he chucked it back behind him, and it clocked the kid who threw it. And so the kid gets up and is like, who threw this? And Caleb turns around and he's like, I did. And the kid went, oh, that's cool. And he sat back down. And Caleb just eyeballed him and was like, just like confused. Like, what? I'll never forget that day. Just the whole, which one of you guys threw this? I did. Oh, cool.
Sorry, sir. Here's your pencil.
Oh, sorry. I do apologize for my outburst.
He's like, sorry, take my wallet.
Take my wallet. Here's my lunch card. Here's my lunch number. Here's my social security. Please don't hurt me.
He's like, please, I'm begging.
Please, I'm trying to be cute. I was only saying that so my friends thought I was tough.
They're like, please, I have an image to keep up.
Please just take one for the team. Or the time we were playing badminton, me and Quentin. No. Yes. Wait. No? They played badminton every year, so I don't know which time it was. No, we were seniors because it was before I graduated. So it was like that, like before the semester thing, we're playing badminton. Here's the thing, it was either the end of junior year or the beginning of senior year, something like that. And one of these short kids, he's like super tough, like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm athletic, I play sports, blah, blah. I remember I was just mad at him because I was like, he was being stupid. Because as per normal, I can let things slide. But once you're just being stupid, that's when all bets are off. I'm like, I'm sick of this. And not when you're being stupid and okay, you're being funny, great, more power to you. But when you're being stupid,
just dumb,
just cusp of better, you are just upsetting me at that point. I remember I'm sitting across from him. It's like the diagonal motion. And I remember he was just saying something. I was like, just, throw the badminton up and smack it down. So he throws it up, and he, like, literally smacks it down. He's just like, oh, well. And I was like, I'm serious. Just play the stupid game. I don't want to be, playing you either. But here I am. You know what I'm saying? Just throw the thing up in the air. And he's like, what are you going to do about it? And I was like... So I dropped the badminton, like the racket, and I go under the thing. And he's like, what? And I just tackled him. And I got up and I walked back to it. And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, now just play this stupid game. And I just remember the look on his face. He was like, the hell was that for? And I was like, dude, I just want to play fucking badminton. I just want to go home.
That reminds me of all those, like, kids who, like, took gym class like seriously.
He was one of them.
So it's like I remember, I think it was our freshman year. I think his name was Greg. He was I'm pretty sure he was a senior. And we were playing whatever form of dodgeball it was that we were playing.
Lizaraga ball or fucking prison ball.
Something like that. And so, like, whatever team that we happened to be on was just getting smoked. We're just, doing whatever.
All in the prison.
Dude, and he's getting mad, dude. Come on! Dude, he's like, come on, everybody! Let's play the game!
You're not getting credit if you lose, dude.
Dude, literally, you pass this class if you show up and you dress out.
That's literally it.
That's all you had to do. That's even what they told you when you got there.
And you know what the best part is? You didn't have to take the uniform home. You literally just keep it in your locker. It's good. So when people didn't wear it, I'm like, this is the easiest part of the class.
It was, I mean, obviously, gym class is the easiest class anyway. Because all you got to do is, like, pretend like you're doing something. It's not like they, like, forced you to, like...
Run the lap. I'm just going to walk the lap.
Yeah. And it's like, they're like, hey, come on, let's get that hustle. And you're just like, are you going to fail me, dude?
I'm trying to get the hustle. I'm gonna fail you for participation. No, you're not, because I am participating.
Because I am participating. I'm here, and I'm dressed out.
That guy over there, he has made alterations to his uniform by cutting his sleeves off. I am not in that wave.
You're like, look at that kid. He's wearing pants.
This chick's wearing sweats and eating Cheetos. Walking the fucking lab. And to be honest, I think she's been wearing the gym shirt all day.
I remember there were kids like that who didn't have... It's like, just like, dude, why are you wearing your gym shirt? It's like, I didn't have any of the clean laundry, dude.
It is what it is. But wasn't your gym first period?
I'm a freshman, so everybody kind of stinky.
You were just in the pool. My eczema acted up that year. But leaving, going to Miss Banfield's class, chafing on my love handles, like, ah. But no, dude, PE really kind of took a turn when we did. Did you guys do the archery?
I think I did, like, my junior or senior year. I did it, like, no shit, for, like, 10 minutes.
No, so Coach Christensen, bless his heart, he teaches us how to do the archery. So everyone's doing it. Poop, 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 poop. Cool. My turn come up. I go. And I hear and I turn and I look. I'm like, well, it didn't even go. And then Coach Christian's like, are you okay, bud? And I look, and it's through my finger. It's like by the little thing. I'm like, the little feather at the end. And I'm just like, well, I don't think archery's for me, Coach. And he's like, well, I'd hate to say I agree with you, but I'm thinking you might be right. You always wear that prosthetic arm to shake people's hands. The parents would go to the parent-teacher conference to shake his hand, like they'd pull it out, and he'd be like, ah! And they'd be like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm just kidding. I'm a health teacher too. That's one of the props from the health room.
Dude, I remember like looking back at it. I remember the health class was like the dumbest thing in the world because I remember
the Shaking Baby movie is like,
she checked the baby. So, like they had that like freshman orientation thing. So like you'd like go to all your classes, like your teachers would like introduce themselves.
I'm Coach Gross. Ew.
And so, I think I was just like sitting there, like with my mom or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so you go through the orientation, and then because I think it was like the day before school started.
Mm-hmm.
So then school starts, I go to the health class, and this kid, like he a little husky, not gonna lie. But he had long hair. He definitely smoked cigarettes. On
was
lunch.
it the red hair?
Yeah.
And he always wore the sleeveless shirt. I remember this.
So he sits down next to me. And he starts bitching about how he has to take this class again because he failed it last year.
That's right, because I remember, because I was like, this dude's held back, and I was like, how do you get held back in health class?
Yeah, I was like...
I remember the final was just, like, can you get pregnant in a hot tub? Yes? Alright. Congratulations. You passed health class.
Yeah, I remember the final for health class was really stupid because, obviously, like, the periods were way longer. And so it's like, you finish the test and, like... I think I finished the health test in like 20 minutes.
What did you learn by watching the movie Castaway? It's a dark movie. It's hard to see. Most of it is ocean.
I didn't really learn too much because I have seen it before. But I met my best friend while watching that movie.
Yeah, dude. Castaway. We watched some weird movies. Was it that? I think it was that class. We were watching like the gun safety video.
Gun safety? I don't remember that one.
Because the guy was talking about how like he has a colostomy bag because he wasn't safe with his gun. Because they're talking about stay off the streets. And they had the choose your own ending movie where like the kid gets shot at the park and that is the ambiguous ending where it's like what do you think happened? And I'm like the kid gets better and Coach Gross is like he's probably dead and I'm like.
Yeah, because I remember that was one of the because like they said they were talking about the colostomy bag, and so the movie ends or whatever, and someone was like, "Coach, what's a colostomy bag?" And he's like, "It's just a bag that you attach to your leg, and it's just filled with your human waste."
And he was like, "Oh,
okay." But probably one of the girls in the class was like, "Yeah."
I remember the girls in the class because that. The Shaking Baby movie, that's what I call it, about like the kids who get pregnant, the teenagers, And then the girl's like, I can't do it, and gives the dad the baby. And the dad goes and he parks in that parking lot and he sleeps with the kid. And he gets ready to shake him. And everyone just goes, shaking baby syndrome. And Coach Gross is like,
I remember he was like, because I remember he had like introduced it. So I had known who he was beforehand because for some reason we got like this like invitation like in the mail, or my mom got one like on an email about like if you're like interested in joining the football team. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's something I'm kind of interested in. So I had kind of known who he was beforehand. And so like we show up and stuff to class, and he's like yeah, obviously, you know, I'm Coach Gross, like I'm the health teacher, but I'm also the football coach, and you know, blah blah blah. And so he was like, yeah, obviously, you know, we're hoping to, you know, bring the football team back up, and you know, blah blah blah. I remember they didn't win a single game that year.
I remember that was like the inside joke, because like every homecoming game, lose. I think they won our senior year.
So they started to win our senior year, and they thought that they were going to go to state, but they didn't. And then the following year after he graduated is when they won state.
They would,
for like the first time in like 30 years or something like that.
That's not a metaphor for us. Just
everything was going bad, and then we left, and then everything started, and then everything took a big old upswing, and Coronado was back on the map. Because like I remember when the wrestling team won state, like our freshman or our sophomore or junior year.
It was junior year, I think, because I just remember Adrian Cordova got like that like thing of pretzels with the peanut butter in them, and they were doing like their like little speech, like, oh, he did it, blah blah, he won. But he just sits there and he opened the pretzels, and while they're giving the speech, I mean, he's just sitting there, he's leaning back with the pretzels, and he's just eating the peanut butter pretzels. Like, the whole auditorium's just staring at him, and the principal's like, this is a great moment, but we're all just looking at him, and he's just...
Yeah, because I remember it was such a huge deal that they, like, had the whole assembly schedule, like, set up, and they were like, yes, this is awesome!
I remember when I got told, because I was just chilling, I wasn't having a good day, and so I was sitting down, and they were like, stand up for the national anthem! The cheerleaders like, damn it! And I was like, listen, it's nothing against the country, I'm just chilling right now, please stop yelling at me.
I remember they would tell us to stop talking. There'd be teachers, like, interspersed, like, throughout all of, like the bleachers and stuff, and, like, you'd be just talking to your buddy. It's like, dude, it's like, what the fuck? It's assembly, who cares?
I don't want to be here. They got a ripped up freshman sign over there.
Dude, I remember it was, like, super bad our freshman year, like... Those assemblies were wild.
And I'm just sitting there. That's when I was like, hey, high school ain't for me. High school isn't my cup of tea.
And it was so stupid, like... It was like, I remember, like, because I think it was our freshman year, that was the year that they blended up the Happy Meal.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to drink it. And that kid's, like trying not to throw up in the middle of the gym.
Public school.
And I remember I went home and I was telling my mom about it, and she goes, ew, that's gross. And I was like, but why? Like, you essentially make that same smoothie in your stomach,
but
like, as you eat it. And she goes, well, yeah, it's different though, because it's not like you like are putting your burger and your fries in the drink and then just, you know, slurping that down. Like,
your taste buds aren't touching it.
Yeah, it's like you're changing it up.
That's why you gotta break into the McDonald's, get the night vision goggles. Hopefully no one follows you in there in poor old, is it Amboy? In poor old Amboy, just to find out, school assembly, you're stuck in health class, you're getting pregnant in the jacuzzi. Full circle. I don't know, I tried.
But yeah, dude, I remember it got more toned down by the time that we were seniors, and it was like they didn't do nothing fun like that. Like, it was always just some dude moonwalking across the gym.
Can you do cartwheels across the gym? Oh, that's why I didn't have school spirit. Where's your school spirit? In what? You did a cartwheel across the gym, and now I'm supposed to be like, yes! Beat that Doherty! Our football team can't win a homecoming game. our freaking dances are so freaking lame that they want to cancel them. They had to have 2 cougar mascots grinding up on each other to show us what not to do. Then my senior year, there's a big old fire before we start. We get there, and then you guys go, her house burned down. And I'm sitting there like,
should we really be applauding that?
is this how democracy dies? With thunderous applause.
I'd say it's probably a pretty good spot to end it at.
Yeah. House burned down. Flying W Ranch went down. The whole mountain went down. We stood on a football field wearing shirts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They made us take that big old dumb, like, school-wide picture.
The only good thing I got out of that picture was TV time and a t-shirt. And by TV time, I mean I was in the Word.
That was in the Word somewhere.
I was not interviewed.
All right, as always, thanks for listening.
Subscribe, like, bell notification, comment, share with your mama, your grandmama, your enemies, your friends, all of them.
Make sure you guys start collecting battle bots, because
it's coming.
Brews and Bros Network it's coming hard. It's coming fast.
We've been seeing some potential clients chilling on the streets.
So in the comments below, on Twitter, on the Facebook page, wherever you're at, if you got someone you think could be a contender on battle bots, let us know.
By that I mean if you have a wheelchair. If you don't have a wheelchair, please do not hit us up in any way, shape, or form unless you're hot.